Hey everybody, how's it going tonight? How's everybody doing? Let me all know where you're watching from. If you don't know who I am, my name is Steven Scott. Um, I live in Jacksonville, Florida, USA. Just in case anybody who's watching this globally, I am an online business coach. And just like many of you, I was a former 9 to 5 retail worker. And I have since then discovered an online business, a year and a half later, after I gotten fired from my job, where I can work 2 hours a day from my phone. And it's beginner friendly business. And you would have the master resale rights, or MRR. But anyway, let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know. Now, today's subject I want to talk about, they told you to get a job, not to build a legacy. I'm going to say it again. They've told you to go get a job, right? But not to build a legacy. Now, let me tell you 5 reasons why that is. 5 reasons why that is. Well, first reason is a job fits the system. Legacies challenges that. Society is built around producing predictable workers, not independent thinkers, right? A job keeps you in a system that's easy to manage, measure, and tax, right? A legacy or a business, wealth or influence, it disrupts the structure, right? Make it make sense. Most people only, now this is number 2, most people only teach what they know. Parents, teachers, and mentors often have had traditional jobs themselves. They can't guide you towards a legacy building because no one guided them. We inherit career advice the same way we inherit old traditions, right? This is a third reason. Safety is easier to sell than ambition. I'm going to say it again. Safety is easier to sell than ambition. You know, get a job sounds safe, right? Res- Sounds safe, responsible, and it's a low risk. But guess what? Building a legacy sounds uncertain and intimidating. People naturally push others towards the path with fewer unknowns, even if it's a path with fewer rewards. Now, this is the fourth reason. Legacy requires skills schools don't teach. Now, I'm going to say this again. A legacy requires skills that schools do not teach. Schools teach compliance, deadlines, and uh, memorization, if I'm saying it right, skills for employment. But legacy requires ownership, creativity, leadership, and financial intelligence. Since the system doesn't teach these things, people don't know how to encourage them. Number 5, you're becoming exceptional makes others uncomfortable. I'm going to say this again. You becoming exceptional, it makes others uncomfortable. When you pursue a legacy, wealth, freedom, or impact, it highlights others in unreal potential. People around you may subconsciously subconsciously prefer you to say normal, predictable, or into similar to them. So they advise what keeps the structure or statue quo impact. So whatever that is. Okay, we'll see. Let's see. Hi, Brandina, if I'm saying your name right. What's the product? Okay, so the product we'll be talking about today is digital products. Does anybody know what digital products is? Put a one in the chat if you know what digital products are. Does anybody know what an e-learning digital product is? Well, digital products is a product that exists online. It's digital, so you can't touch it. But you know, you have all kind of digital products actually. You have e-learning products. You have cookbooks. You have how-to instructions, right? You have books. You actually have online digital books. Now, they sell them on Amazon all the time. No, those are digital products. You even have digital recipes. Again, all of those are digital. Those are digital products, and they all have different purposes. And people make a lot in passive income off of them. But what I'm going to be talking about today is digital e-learning products. Digital e-learning products. A year and a half ago, I invested myself in a digital e-learning product business where you have master resale rights, or MRR. Does anybody know what master resale rights are? Hello? Put a 1 in the chat if you know what master resale rights are. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know what master resale rights are. Let's see. I see 8 people here, but no one's saying anything. Hello? Hello? This room is pretty quiet. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nobody knows what master resale rights are? Hello? Well, master resale rights is when you can resell a digital product over and over and over and over again, and it never runs out of stock. With physical products, for example, like physical products like this pen right here. If you want to, let's say, for example, if you want to sell this for like $9 or $10, guess what? Once you sell out of these, you have to reorder them. You have to reorder inventory. But with a digital product, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about keeping it in the warehouse. You don't have to worry about restocking it. You don't have to worry about any of that with digital products, because guess what? You invest one time, and it lives online forever. And again, it never runs out of stock, and you can resell it over and over and over again. And as soon as you make a sale, guess what? Your customer gets your product instantly. They don't have to wait They don't have to wait for a whole day. They don't have to wait for 5 days or even a week. They can get it instantly, and that's a beautiful thing about digital products. So that's what I'm talking about today. So everybody that's new here, I appreciate the likes. Whoever liked the live, the 2 people that liked this live, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Steven. I am an online business coach. I'm a former retail worker, 9-to-5 retail worker. I worked 9 to 5 for 12 years before I got fired from there. And I also did gig work. I did food deliveries and stuff for 4 months, and before I finally decided that I need to do something better. So, and it took me a year and a half to look, but then I found this business where I work 2 hours a day from my phone. And you can do the exact same thing. You can work 2 hours a day from your phone. So, but let's see. So let me know where you guys are watching from. And I'd like to know where people are watching from. Now, I'm going to say this real quickly before I continue. If you're just here to sit and scroll, if you're looking for entertainment, you're looking for the latest drama in the the celebrity entertainment industry and all that stuff, you're looking to hear some music or dance and all that stuff, guess what? This is not the live stream for you. This is not the live stream for you. In this live stream, I'm here to help build future CEOs and future business owners. My goal here is to educate people and give people value. That's what this live stream is for. So if that's not what you're looking for, then you can scroll up or scroll down. And I really hope you found what you're looking for. Let's see. How? Oh, Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio? Oh, okay. Hey, Cleveland, Ohio in the house. Hi, welcome. Okay, what do you mean how? I'm sorry, what do you mean how? I'm trying to understand. Oh, yeah, Cleveland, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, so. But anyway, I'm here to I'm here to help help those people who are serious about changing their life. The ones tired of clocking in every day, tired of trading time for money, and ready to learn the skills to build something real, and eventually be able to leave your 9 to 5 for good. I'm also tired, and I'm also talking to those, tired of having, strangers get in the car, right? Having to do Uber or Lyft, or do food deliveries with DoorDash. You're tired of doing that. Going to these restaurants, going to these stores, and getting grocery deliveries, and running them up and down 3 and 4 flights of stairs, right? And I'm here to tell you guys, you deserve better. You really, really do. You really deserve better. Now listen, if you're here on this live and you're just here to troll and disrupt this live and disrespect others, that will not be tolerated here. And you will be hidden from this channel. I just want to be very clear on that. I want real people here, people ready to work smarter and not harder. Let's see. Working 2 hours a day. Yeah, working. Oh yeah, 2 hours a day. It's 2 hours a day is not that hard, And in this business, we're going to teach you step by step on how to work 2 hours a day from your phone. That's a very good question. When I first heard about this opportunity that I'm talking about, I couldn't believe it. I'm like 2 hours a day because I used to work 40 plus hours working retail for 12 years. And I worked retail for over 12 years. I'm actually a former Walmart employee. You know, that was actually my first job, and I was there for a very long time. You know, but yeah, I used to work 40 plus hours, and I used to be exhausted and tired and disgusted, but even though I felt that way all the time, guess what? I was comfortable with it because it was predictable. It was predictable. So I stuck with it. So and unfortunately I got too comfortable with it. But I got a rude wake up call in May of 2022 when they let me go. 12 years of loyalty to a company, and within 5 minutes it was all gone, all gone. I didn't have a backup plan or anything, right? Did not have a single backup plan, and I was struggling for a while. And then a couple months later, you know, my sister's boyfriend, he was actually doing DoorDash. He's like, why don't you try DoorDash? He was saying how you can set your own hours and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. Because after losing my job after 12 years, I knew in my heart that I did not want to have to go back and work for someone else. Because, if you could give all that time to a company that can replace you within 5 minutes, then no, that's not good. That's not good. And that really gave me the initial wake up call that day. So again, I gave Uber and DoorDash a try I did those for 4 months, and now after I did that, I was like, nope, this is not gonna work because you're still trading time for money. If you're not clocked in on those apps, and by the way, if they feel like it, guess what? They can deactivate your account. They don't have to give you any warning. They can just go ahead. It's no different than a 9 to 5. They can go ahead and deactivate you, or basically fire you. So, and see, the thing is, what they don't tell you about gig work, you are responsible for the gas and maintenance in your vehicle. You are responsible for that, and it's a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. So, after 4 months of doing that, I actually had to replace 3 of my tires on my minivan. So that's how much wear and tear that I was doing. So, but yeah, I'm telling you guys, it's a better way of making a living. You don't have to do that. You can work 2 hours a day from your phone. So I'm gonna explain that though. But if what I'm saying so far is hitting you right now, what you could do is grab the free blueprint on my website. You will actually get it in your first email from me, because you'll get 30 emails from me. And you will actually get my phone number too. You can reach out to me with any questions that you may have. You could call or text me, or just email me directly. But how you're going to get this is you'll go to my direct link right here in the pinned comments, legacywithsteven.com. What you'll do is you'll put in your first name and email, and you'll be connected with me. And now that doesn't mean you're buying anything. That does not mean you're buying anything. However, it's you can just take your time and look at it, and you can decide for yourself if this is something that if this is a kind of business that you want to do or not. Okay. Okay, so again, after losing my job, and working and doing Uber and DoorDash for 4 months, I actually started to look for other ways to make money online, and working from home. So, and I looked for about a year and a half. I looked into drop shipping and even Amazon FBA, but those two things required monthly fees, right? It required monthly expenses. So, I didn't want to do that. So, it had a lot of overhead, lots of overhead. So, and I knew I didn't want to do that. So I was after a year and a half, in March of 2024, I was scrolling on TikTok. We all like to be on TikTok. So, and I wasn't really thinking about it that day. I was just scrolling, and I came across this older country gentleman, from Arkansas. You know, but he was talking about working 2 hours a day from your phone. He's like, if you just lost your job recently, or if you're sick and tired of being on the struggle bus, he's like, hey, you can stay home just like me and work 2 hours a day from your phone. It's beginner friendly. You don't have to have tech skills. You don't have to know anything about it. And again, it's beginner friendly. So when he said all that, I stopped dead in my tracks. I could not believe that. I stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm like, what? So, the funny thing is, I didn't even say anything, but I just leaned in. Just like you guys are looking at this right now, I was looking at him, I leaned in, and for 5 days I watched him, and on the fifth day, I was like, you know what? Because by then I was very, very emotional, because after losing my job at 12 years, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm scared to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So on March 17th of last year, I betted on myself, and I went ahead and invested in myself in an online business. So from there, I started to learn the skills and plug in and lock in, and little by little, it started to change. You know, so when I learned how to build an online business working 2 hours a day, everything started to change. So, and that's what I'm here tonight, to wake up that part of you that knows that there is more to life than just your next paycheck, right? Put a one in the comments if anything that I'm talking about, if it's making sense to you right now. Put a one in the comments. Let's see. Oh, Cleveland. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. I stay in Lake Wales, Florida. Oh, Lake Wales, Florida. Okay. Awesome. Lake Wales, Florida in the house. Okay. What up, brother? Okay. Don Tree, how are you doing? Don Tree Hammond, how are you doing tonight? I hope I'm saying your name right. Let's see. I'm a nurse who needs change. See, that's right. That's right. Uh, Nina, if I'm saying your name right. If anybody that's watching right now, if you're working a 9 to 5 job, you especially need to do something like this. You especially need to do something like this. And guess what? The 2 hour workday. You could, if you're working at 9 to 5, you could fit this into the nooks and crannies of your day. You know, and I'm gonna give you the breakdown. So what you're gonna do, see, with this business that I have, you're gonna be using social media to promote your business. You know, what you're gonna do two to three pieces of content a day. Video content. And guess what? You do not have to show your face. You can do this faceless. And you see what I'm doing right now? This live stream, I'm doing this faceless. Now, you probably see a picture of my face, but you don't actually see my live face right now. I have my camera pointed towards my microphone. So that's what you're seeing right now. But you don't see my face, you're just hearing my voice. So get what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you can do this business faceless. Now, if you want to show your face, that's entirely up to you. You'll run your business how you want to run it. So, but what you'll need to do is you need to do three pieces of content. You could, that first video, it could be a 7-second video. You could just put, you could talk, or you could just put words on the screen. The second video, it could be 30 seconds. Again, it could be the same thing. And then the fourth video, I would say do like a, I'm sorry, third video, excuse me. You do like a 1 minute video. And then, you want to, give people, talk about things. But again, we're going to show you step by step in this business on exactly what you need to do. So, and then if you are comfortable, if you're comfortable, now you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it does build up a connection with your audience faster. So you would go live on social media like I'm doing right now. I am live, and you can, with this business, you can pick any social media platform that you want to pick. You could do YouTube, TikTok, but again, as far as YouTube goes, YouTube is long form, TikTok is short form, and Instagram is also short form as well. So, and you can also promote this on Facebook too. So, we could promote this on the 4 major social media platforms that we use. And believe it or not, YouTube is, so it's the second largest search engine in the world, believe it or not. And, outside of Google, YouTube is the second largest search engine because people are always on here looking for ways to solve their problems. So, and these are the social media platforms that you could use. Now, you don't have to use all of them. No, definitely don't use all of them. But me personally, I just use one. So, but you can use any one that you want to use to promote your business. And again, inside the program that I'm talking about, we're going to show you step by step on how to do it. So, but yeah. And again, so if you want to know more about this business that I'm doing, go to the link right here in the pinned comments, legacywithsteven.com. In your first email from me, you'll get a free copy of the blueprint. And you'll also get access to my website as well. You'll see 2 videos of my mentor. She's a grandmother of 5 and she's a mother of 6, and she did network marketing. So, and she's made $10 million doing this online e-learning business, digital marketing business. So, and she's teaching us the strategies on how to, be better digital marketers every single day. So you'll be a part of a great community. We have 57,000 people in our community. Now, when I first joined, it was only 11,000 people. So, that was a little more than a year ago, but it's not, we have 57,000 people now, and our platform is in school.com, SKOOL, school.com. So, but you're gonna get a lot, education training, and as well as live mentors. And all you have in this business, all you have to do is be coachable, be committed, and be consistent. Because with this business, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You want people to know who you are. You have to show up. Just like you show up to that job every day. 5 or 6 days a week. You have to show up to your business, and but if as long as you do that, there's no reason why you shouldn't. But I will say this though, any results you get out of this business, it totally depends upon you. The only thing we can do is provide you with the tools necessary to be successful, but your success totally depends upon you though. But I will say this, you will be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You will always have help with your business if you need it. You'll have my help, and you'll have the help of 57,000 other people. So, right? So grab that free blueprint. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing to this channel. I go live 6 days a week, and I take Sundays off. Now on Thanksgiving, I will be off on that day. I won't be on here that day because it's Thanksgiving. So. Now, speaking of Thanksgiving, I remember when I was working a 9 to 5, all those years, I actually had to work a lot of Thanksgivings. And they will automatically, and if you didn't work that day, they'll automatically give you 2 points. So, I do not miss those days, period. I do not miss those days. When you have an online business, guess what? You are the boss. I set my own hours. I set when I do videos. I set when I go live. Nobody is telling me what I should and should not do. So, you know, you're the boss. See, when you work for somebody else, they control your time. They control your effort, right? They own you. They own you, you guys. They own you. When you're clocked in, they own that company owns you and your time. And they really do. You know, they tell you when you can, use the restroom, right? They tell you when you can take a break. They tell you when you can clock in and clock out, right? They sometimes they tell you when you can take a vacation. Make it make sense. I mean, shoot, I remember it was my 29th birthday when I was still working at Walmart at that time. I think it was in trying to think of the year. Yeah, it was 2017. I never asked for my birthday off. I always worked my birthdays, and I never asked for it off. I was like, you know what? I want to take my birthday off this time. So I asked my manager about it, and she's like, "Oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it." And mind you, I asked her months ahead, at least a couple months ahead of time, and I kept asking. You try not to bug your supervisor, but I at least wanted to remind her because she said, "Oh, just remind me, just remind me." So I reminded her. Well, fast forward to August. My birthday's in early August. It came up. She never approved it. I was so mad. I would never forget that. And when I think about that now, I am so glad that I have my own business. I'm so glad that they let me go. So now, see, now I have control over my own time. And when I want to take time off and whatever, when I want to spend, when I need to go to the doctor, when want to spend time with my family, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So, you know, now I want to talk about this, and I used to be guilty at this too, but a lot of us still do it. And the crazy part is, most people spend more money in one weekend than it would take to start their own online business, right? But guess what? They don't think twice about Starbucks or Netflix or Amazon, right? Or eating out. $5 coffee here, 12 dollars to $15 for lunch there, right? Because a lot of people, especially 9 to 5 workers, a lot of times people don't pack their lunches, right? So guess what? They'll spend $12 to $15 eating out at lunch at Chipotle or Taco Bell you know, um, or Burger King or McDonald's, right? People spend 50 to $200 to eat out at the Cheesecake Factory, right? Olive Garden, Carrabba's, those places. I mean, hey, I did it too. Like most people, I was a consumer. You know, some people they'll even drop $100 to $300 to buy tickets to go see Beyonce in concert, right? To go see Nicki Minaj in concert, right? To go see Drake or, Katy Perry and those kind of people, Usher. And guess what? They will actually put concert tickets now on payment plans, right? You'll put something on a payment plan that's a one-time event. Now look, you guys, there's nothing wrong with going to concerts. However, but every time people go to these concerts, they don't realize they're building these celebrity singers. You're building their empire. You're making them even more richer. You're helping them to leave their legacies and legacies for their kids and their grandkids and their great grandkids for generations to come. Make it make sense. But yet, you don't have enough money for your son or your daughter or your grandson or your granddaughter's college fund, right? Make it make sense. And that's what I'm saying. You're building all these other people's legacies. Why not build a legacy for yourself and your family? You know. And the thing is, you can leave a legacy with a business. When you pass away, you cannot leave a legacy with a job because guess what? The day that job is gone, the one stream of income you have with that job is also gone too. It's gone at the same time. So, and that's what I'm just that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm just giving you facts. Again, you guys, this is not an entertainment live stream. This is not a drama live stream or any. I'm here to give people value and give people education and let people know that there's a better way to live. So, and you don't have to, work a 9 to 5, don't, and guys, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't wait until you get fired or you get laid off to finally do something, or to finally have some kind of plan, and you're scrambling to do something. You could have a backup plan ahead of time. You could back on the website now. Okay, okay, Mina. All right, thank you. All right, appreciate that. All right, awesome. Guys, you can check out my website too if you guys are looking. It'll be legacywithsteven.com. It will be in the pinned comments. It's free. You're not buying anything. You're just looking around. You know. You'll also get a free PDF in your first email from me, and you'll also get my phone number. You can reach out to me with any questions that you have. You know, and what I'm doing is, and what I have on there is a digital business products, and they're education products. But you could also have the master resale rights to them, and you can resell them over and over again. And the thing is, you don't even have to resell them if you don't want to. You can actually take the education from them, and you can create your own digital products. You can create your own ebook. You can create recipe book, right? Um, if you're type of person you like automotive stuff, you can create an automotive digital ebook where you can educate people. And guess what? People are doing this all the time, and guess what? They're making thousands or even millions of dollars off of it, and they're doing it. But you don't ever have to take the digital products that I'm talking about and resell them. You don't ever have to resell them if you don't want to. We have a lot of business owners who invest in this business because they want the education. Again, they want the education. Because you could have a brick and mortar business out there like a restaurant or a clothing store, or a pawn shop or someplace like that, or even even a beauty salon. But guess what? If you don't know how to promote, because you have to be able to market yourself. People have to know that you exist, even with a brick and mortar business. You have to do advertisement. And if people don't, and then these days people are using social media to promote, but they don't know how to do it properly. But in the business that I'm talking about, that I'm a part of, which is a legacy builders program, we teach you step by step on how to do that. So, and people have become very successful with their brick and mortar businesses because they've learned the education from it. You know, if here's the thing, you guys, if you don't learn a skill to be your own boss, you'll spend the rest of your life working for someone else. And I'm so glad that they fired me when they did, because if they didn't, I wouldn't have came across this business opportunity that I'm talking to you about right now. So I'm not, as far as the this concert tickets, I'm not saying that to you know put anybody down. I'm just giving people a reality check, because all this stuff that we spend money on, that in the long run is not going to get us anywhere. But you can invest it in your education, and as well as a business one time, where you can learn the skills where you can make a 100% profit that goes straight to you. And that's what I love about this business that I have. You can, anytime you get a customer, anytime you make a sale, you make 100% profit that goes straight to you. And there is no upline or downline, and there is no MLM. And again, you make 100% profit. It's not like this is not like network marketing or affiliate marketing, excuse me, where you only make 60 or 80% profit. No, you make 100% profit. Let's say, if for example, if you get a customer, guess what? That's the sale from that customer. It goes straight to you. It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to our no mentor. It goes straight to you. It goes straight to your bank account, straight to your pocket, purse, whatever you got. It goes straight to you. That's what I'm talking about. So, and you guys, and let's be real. Some of us are really struggling and don't have the money, but most of us are not broke. We're just funding everybody else's dreams. And I'm just saying, make it make sense. You know, anytime you go to these concerts, anytime you go to these great events, guess what? You're building these celebrities' empires even more. You know, they're able to buy, these celebrities are able to buy Mercedes Benz and Ferraris and Rolls Royces. They're to buy that stuff for their kids. But guess what? You could, you really can't really afford to buy a used car for your teenage son or daughter. Make it make sense. I'm just saying. So, you know, it's nothing wrong with going to these concerts, but at the same time, make sure that you're good to go first. That's all I'm saying. So, and you got to ask yourself, what would happen if I invested that same money into me and into my family? Because let's be real, you guys, you know, Netflix isn't going to make you passive income. Starbucks isn't going to pay your rent or your mortgage. Amazon isn't going to retire you. But the skills you build for yourself, those will free you for life. Now, let me ask you guys this question. You know that cell phone that you have that you're looking at this live stream with right now? If somehow, you know, goodness forbid, if it got damaged or broken, you would go into panic mode, right? Right? You'll be racing down to the app store or to the Apple store somewhere or whatever you like to buy your phones. You'll be pulling out your card and grabbing that new iPhone Pro or 17 Pro Max or whatever you want to call it. And you would grab that thing without even thinking twice about it, right? You would even put that joker on a payment plan with no hesitation because you need that phone, right? We all need that phone because you rely on that cell phone about right now. The same one that changed my life, it costs less than that cell phone you'll gladly go and finance. Hello? And you know what the difference is? That new iPhone 17 Pro Max, it will cost you more every single month. It's going to cost you every single month. But this business, it can make you the same money from that same phone that you're already using. Now, I want to make something very clear because I'm fixing to, excuse me, how about I'm saying? Sell anybody anything. I don't want to make anybody income if they don't want to. Again, if you like working a 9 to 5, you like clocking in and clocking out every day. You know, if you like every morning, if you like being told to do by your boss, if you like doing Uber and DoorDash and Lyft, and you know carrying groceries and people's lunches and dinners up and down flights of stairs, you like putting strangers in your car, driving them up and down these highways, hey, if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. You know, I remember my aunt used to say that years ago. She's like, honey, if you like it, I love it. No, bless her soul, you know, she don't pass away now, but you know, but again, you know, hey, if you like it, I love it. This live stream is not for you. You know, I'm here to talk to people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you know your 9 to 5 is draining you and you're looking for a way out. Now look, I'm not telling you to quit your 9 to 5 today. No. I'm not telling you to quit doing Uber and DoorDash today. No, I'm not saying that. However, this could be your way out of there if you're willing to invest in yourself and your family and learn the skills and be a student and you show up to your business every day and be consistent. You know, eventually it may take up to a year, maybe it may take a few months. I really don't know. Again, I don't know your work ethic. I don't know your willingness to show up for yourself. You know, I don't know your willingness to be teachable. I don't know your willingness to implement the trainings that we teach, right? No, only thing we can do is provide you the tools and provide you the vehicle. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to